Thank you, everybody, for joining the Bassfug podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have the one and only Raoul Sinier. There from the beginning. I think you started in, 2000, in the 2000s doing glitch, right?
Yes, my first album was in 2004.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's like 15 years now.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So do you want me to call you Ra or Raoul?
Oh, Ra was really a long time ago, but as you want.
Okay. Did you change your name from Ra to Ra using your real name because of Bong Ra? And there was like confusion or what?
No. The Ra was really, I didn't thought about it too much. And when I released my first album, I just go with Ra, which is the short for Raoul, my real name. And after that, I had a lot of people talking to me about Ra, the Egyptian god. You know,
okay. Yeah.
Like I was pretending to be a god, so it was a bit like, it's Raoul. This is the reason why my first album was called Raoul Loves You. It was in my head to say, okay, it's Ra, but I'm not like Ra, the god. It's like, it's my name. Yeah. It was like, please be nice. I'm not the pretentious. Current like this, but so I changed it after.
Yeah. Which is hard to get away from when you're in sort of that IDM kind of scene, everyone thinks you're stroking your chin all the time,
Oh, and also there are, of course, a lot of Ras in the music industry. There was a metal band. I think they were pretty successful at the time.
Okay.
And so, on iTunes stores and all those things, I was always mixed up with there was a British rapper and a metal band from the East, I think. And we were all together in the same Ra, so it was also some kind of problem for me.
Yeah. So how?
And especially because the metal band was not very good. Well, okay, forget it.
Okay. Yeah. 80s hair metal. So how did you get your start? Because I know you more from the Sublight Records era,
Yeah.
And your art. I was looking at your new art. Your art is unreal. It's so cool. Is it digital or is it?
Yes.
Or is it conventional? Okay. What are you using for your art?
You mean the software?
Yeah.
It's the software called Painter, which is really about doing something natural, and a little graphic tablet, and that's about it.
Were you doing art before you started doing music, or was it just sort of all at the same time?
It was a bit all at the same time. I did some art schools, but this is really me trying out stuff. Since I was a child, I always try stuff, and especially with the computers. This is why I'm doing electronic music, digital painting, motion design too. It's always related to computer because you can try out everything with computers. And I always, since I was a kid, always try out stuff like, I found a musical program. Let's try. And when I was a child, it wasn't really serious. I wasn't really serious about music, but eventually it became something really important for me.
So when did you start? So I guess you started when you were very young.
Yeah. But it wasn't really serious, like I said. It was, first of all, it was with an Amiga 500.
Oh, nice.
Yes, because, I'm 46. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was octalizable, whatever. But and it was really about trying out, like I said, trying out stuff. It was really fun to do. And at the time, I bought a sampler, but it was really a sampler
Which
I bought
sampler?
for. Yeah, but
No, but which one? Which brand? Like the Kai? Or?
No, this is the thing. It was something I bought for absolutely nothing. It was like just a little box.
Okay.
Where, yeah, in fact, it was from today's standard. It was just a jack input in a way.
Okay.
But it gives me the opportunity to sample, to use my own samples. And by the time, it was like it was awesome for me.
Mm.
But it was, I had 1 megabyte of memory.
Nice.
And I think it was 8 bits, maybe less. It was in the 90s. So, okay. But it was fun.
So you were using the Amiga 500 up until when? When did you start upgrading? What gear were you starting to acquire through your history?
I think it was the first time I bought Macintosh, which was related to my actual day job. I'm a layout designer.
Okay.
And I switched to Macintosh, and I found a program which was a tracker too, if you know what I mean.
Of course, yeah. What was it called?
Player Pro.
Player Pro.
Yeah. It was a free application, and the guy who did this program was how can I say, a guy who does radio, medical radio, medical imagery.
Okay.
Which is fun,
Yeah.
in a way. But and I used this for a very long time. Also, I had a multi-track cassette recorder.
Okay.
Very basic, and I was recording the computer on the tape and adding some guitars, bass I had at the time, and voices sometime, and it was sorry?
No, I didn't say anything. Yeah.
No, I had some delay.
Oh.
And it was like totally messy music, electronic and punk with a no-fault sound.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of fun.
And this was using your crazy guitar that you made, right?
It was another one that I made too.
Okay. Can you tell people about your guitar? Because it looks like something from Mad Max, you know?
Yeah. When I was young, about in this area, I built a first guitar with my dad, because my dad is, I don't know the word in English, but his job is to restore and repair ancient instruments.
Okay.
Mostly for museums and collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so he knows how to do that. It's not exactly like I did build some guitars. You know, I was with my dad, which is a professional, so it was okay, easy in a way. So I did the first guitar, and when I start to do gigs, I thought about doing another guitar, especially for having a small guitar.
Mm.
So it's easy to carry around. But also, of course, I would do a guitar with a lot of crazy stuff, like not crazy stuff, but there are wires and a bit like Giger stuff. You know, the guy who did Alien.
Oh yeah. Geiger. He was supposed to
Geiger,
do.
yeah.
He was supposed to do the stuff for Dune as well.
The?
You know, the movie Dune with David
Yeah,
Lynch.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to do the original Dune, but something happened. Yeah.
I didn't know.
There's a cool documentary on YouTube about it. It's worth checking out. Yeah.
Oh, about Jodorowsky.
Yeah, Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a crazy one.
Yeah.
So I did this guitar mainly for my gig on my live gigs, and I'm not a really good guitarist. In fact, no, I'm not really a guitarist. You know, I know how to make some noise.
Yeah, you could play a couple Nirvana songs.
Oh no, I mean Nirvana is not. This is not some stuff I listened at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. But you know, a lot of distortion, a lot of saturation, and it's fun. So this is my take on guitar.
Yeah. So you upgraded to your Macintosh. You were using Player Pro.
At the time, yeah.
So you were using that for a while. When were you releasing stuff by yourself, or were you getting professional releases like early on?
No. It was like just before internet was coming to life. Yeah. Really, it was long ago.
Yeah.
But and later on, I switched to Logic.
Okay.
Logic Pro. It wasn't made by Apple at the time. Well, Apple bought the
company,
whatever. Yeah. It's not important, but and it was like really new possibilities for me, because when you switch from a tracker to a real professional application like this, it's like the automation, for example. It was something absolutely crazy for me.
Yeah, because
I like the way computer works. I mean by that the fact that you can always come back to what you did and change everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, okay, I get to do this take and you have to be perfect. With computers and the way most electronic producers are working, you can always fix everything. And I really like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was saying.
No, because you switched to Logic. And you're saying going from...
Okay, and so my music became a bit more important for me.
Yeah.
To the point where I thought, okay, maybe it was worth trying to send it to labels and see what will happen. And so I sent a demo to a Coredump record. Yeah. At the time, which was a really small label, but they had Venetian snares.
Yeah, well,
and proms.
Your release was before Venetian snares, I think.
On the label,
yeah,
on the Coredump, maybe.
Yeah, because he came out with Infolepsy, I think.
Yes.
After your release, yeah.
Yes, but there was they were already friend and close. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, this label is a bit small. Again, they released the EP from Proms.
Yeah,
you know. I was fan at the time, so it was really great for me. But anyway, for me, any labels would be perfect.
Yeah.
For the first release, and the Coredump Records, he accepted to release a full album, first thing.
Yeah.
Which was great for me because, well, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But and my first record was a bit over the top. It was a 74 minutes.
Yeah,
the max you can do on CD, because I had years and years of stuff, so I was eager to release the most stuff possible.
Yeah,
and and sadly, Jay from Coredump Record passed away.
Yeah.
So I had the second record ready, and of course, and the remixes from Venetian Snares, music.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the Damage, which are my friends of mine. So I reached out Sublight, and they were interested because they had Venetian Snares too.
Oh yeah.
It was some kind of friend or something, not friend, but some kind of passing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. He was also on Sublight.
Exactly.
But that album was the one you're talking about. That was released on Planet Mu, though, right?
It was the EP with the remixes. Yeah, from Planet Mu.
Okay, yeah. And then, so sorry, you were releasing on Sublight as well. This is pretty good. You were on 3 of the biggest labels in the underground.
Was insane. It was insane. But what the thing with Sublight, really great label, insane catalog with Venetian Snares, Flashbulb,
Synthemask.
Yes, Wisp, also, and so much more. But the guy who did Sublight was a really great guy, but he didn't have, I think, the commercial aspect of a record label. So he were releasing tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And he had to close the label.
Yeah. So yeah, that's hard. You know, you can't. It's hard to find a mix between business and art when you start doing stuff with money. Yeah, it sucks.
And maybe especially with this kind of music, I don't know.
Well, it was pretty hot when those albums were coming out. In 2005, 2006, selling breakcore was probably a lot easier than I suspect what it is now. Even though you're more glitch, you're more kind of glitch trip hop, kind of more IDM.
Yes.
But still, I think they were pretty popular for a bit. I suspect maybe Soulseek killed it because people were probably downloading instead of buying the records.
I really, it's really hard to understand if it was really something that killed the music industry or not. I'm not sure really, but it didn't help for sure.
Yeah. So you weren't releasing on any net labels or anything like that, were you? Because I see now on your website you had posts where you spoke sort of intimately about music sales versus physical release, and how you said you're just releasing everything for free now. Is this like a new philosophy of yours, or were you embracing that earlier on in your career?
It's not. Well, earlier when I was into record labels, it was something different because you don't have to pay for nothing. When you release stuff on your own, if you want to still do physical releases, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, and since I'm old, having physical releases is still important for me.
Yeah.
At least some CDs. I find it a bit sad when a record is only digital, but okay. No, what I was saying with the digital versus physical, it was that, okay, nowadays we release everything on streaming platforms like Spotify. And so if you want to listen to my music, you can do it for free. Even if you don't have a paying account on Spotify, for example. So you can listen it for free with advertising. So this is crap for me. So it's free, but with advertising, it's cancer. So I might as well release it for free.
You imagine listening to Pink Floyd The Wall for the first time, but every 5 minutes you hear a Diet Coke commercial.
Exactly. This is terrible. And for my little experience on Spotify, for example, most of the advertising is for Spotify.
Yeah.
Which is it's the same, but it's a bit silly. Like, okay, I know I'm on Spotify. You don't have to remind me.
Well, here's that little hack. You could listen to Spotify through the browser. So if you listen to Spotify through the browser and you use ad block, like a uBlock Origin or ad block, it automatically blocks the ads.
Yeah, I know, but you have to wait. Well, okay.
Yeah.
But my point
the streaming isn't high quality either. But
yes.
Yeah.
But since it's somehow free, my goal today is to be listened to.
Yeah.
Since we can't really make some real money with music today, I might as well offer the best experience for the public. So, okay, in digital it's free, and of course for the few CDs I'm making, it's you have to pay, but it's small prices. It's really for the few folks who like some physical release today.
Yeah. But what is it about the CD that you like? Why not like vinyl? Because some people are still into the physical releases, but I don't see a lot of people into CDs. A lot of people are into tapes now. Tapes and vinyl, but CDs I don't really hear much of. What is it that attracts you to that?
Nothing. It's just that making CDs is really cheap and easy.
Okay.
It's only that. Of course, I would prefer widely to do vinyl, but it's like it's very expensive. Okay, you have to store this. If you do it yourself, you have to store this to go to the post office every now and then, and it's so it's the CDs. Let's be honest, the CDs are a bit crappy today, but it's just so okay. There is an object.
Yeah.
For those who cares.
And you could rip it too. It's easier to make your own digital copy of a CD than it is to make a digital copy of a vinyl or something.
Yes, but it's when you go when you go with Bandcamp, if you buy a CD, you have the digital version as well, and in FLAC if you want, or so you don't even have to. I think most of the people who buy this kind of CDs today, it's mostly for support and to have a physical object, just for the object. I don't think people buy CDs and play it.
Yeah. Well, no one has a CD-ROM drive anymore,
Exactly.
Like, where they bring out their PlayStation 2 and throw in their CD, right? But why not, what about other merchandise like T-shirts? Because I'll usually buy T-shirts because I know the band gets the money,
Well, the thing with T-shirts is you have to, if you really want to do it, you have to do like 50.
Yeah.
Or 100, and it's like it's
a lot of money.
Yes, it is, but it's also a bit of a hassle because you cannot do like
one size fits all. Yeah.
Yeah, and a single design, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But I do have T-shirts, but it's with the company that do on demand.
Okay. Yeah.
So okay, it's not exactly the same, but if you want T-shirts, it's okay. But nowadays you can do your own T-shirt with anything you want.
Yeah.
So you go to the whatever website and you upload something that you rip online, and they do a t-shirt for you. The quality is really great.
Yeah.
So it's somehow t-shirts are irrelevant today. You know.
Well, you could even go to Walmart and buy a package of white T-shirts and then get a can of spray paint if you want to be punk rock about it. And
Yeah,
you do that too. Yeah.
I did that a long time ago.
Do you
with
sell? Sorry, do you sell your prints?
I I did this a while ago, but didn't work too well. So it's again a bit of a hassle. So
Okay.
but this is another problem with digital painting, is that it's a bit hard to sell because people don't like the fact that it's not original material. You know, it's in art. You don't buy an original. It's like, okay, it's 1 out of 100,
Yeah.
let's say, and it's like doesn't work. I was with a gallery,
Okay.
and a guy who tried really a lot to work with the digital painting, me and a bunch of other great artists, and it didn't work for this reason. The fact that you can buy an original, people don't like this.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, that picture of the elephant with the Dreamcast. I was like, well, maybe I wouldn't buy. I'd buy a CD, but I'd also get that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about maybe buying some print, cool, cheap, not in a bad way, but and having the record.
Yeah,
for a release, buying something else, to have something physical, but it's not CD, because CD, let's face it, it's over.
Yeah. So who are your inspirations for music? Because I see your stuff and you're kind of all over, but at the same time, a lot of your sound was very original, especially in the early 2000s, 2004. Who were you looking up to, and who were you trying to emulate when you were getting established?
Oh, I didn't try anything really. It was well, I really listened to a lot of hip hop when I was younger, and with hip hop, I discovered the thing that the producer were sampling. I mean, the funk and funk from the 70s, and everything that
James Brown, basically.
Oh yeah, but more than that. But we can say that. But everything that built hip hop, in a way, hip hop for the sample area, and so. At the time, I thought that maybe hip hop would migrate to something more electronic. I really thought it was going to that direction. I really thought we were going to have more instrumental hip hop records.
Yeah.
And no. But it was really hip hop and electronic, early electronic music that influenced me, especially in the way of especially the image I had of working with machines and with computers, and in a way, it's more the way music was made that influences me the more.
Okay.
In a way.
So if you found out they were using trackers, you wanted to use a tracker? Is that?
It wasn't like that. It was really what I heard. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Breakbeats, some kind of samples, heavily cutted, with some cuts, some stuff like this. And I was like, okay, this is great. And for me, all the glitch thing of electronic music was for me present in some 90s hip hop,
Yeah.
like Digital Underground.
Yeah.
The guy who did the Digital Underground, he always used some roughly cut samples. I don't know if I make sense or not.
No, you make sense, yeah.
And I think this is really what influences me for the whole glitch thing.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah, like even Terminator X,
yes, Bomb Squad, and
yeah, they were cutting stuff up like crazy, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
and using some kind of a noise.
Yeah.
To be quick, but like saw machines and heavy machinery sometimes, and put it in a loop, and it became something really musical to me. And you're right. Public Enemy was really something very big for me.
Yeah.
And this is what I was trying to explain is. By listening to some track from Public Enemy, I was like, okay, this is insane. This is a great idea to do like lots of layers and layers of stuff, and something really new come out of this, and it was really very interesting for me to all that.
And also the content too. You have the sound, and then the things they're singing about, especially when you're younger. It's just like, oh my God, what is this? It's crazy. I remember listening to 911 as a joke when I was a kid, and I was like, I thought I was going to get arrested for listening to it,
Yeah, but this is something I realize now, but by the time I didn't pay any attention to the lyrics. Yeah, and especially because I'm French, as maybe you can tell. I didn't understood any of it, and I didn't care anyway. So it was really about the music.
Okay. So you were playing live in the early 2000s, or have you always been playing live, or what is your setup like when you play live? Because I know you use the guitar. I think I've seen that before.
I did use the guitar. At some point, I was with a laptop, a small controller, and my guitar. Everything plugged into the laptop. Because I was using like crazy effects on the guitar, I didn't had any pedal effects or anything. I was really straight to the computer, and the computer was glitching the guitar, for example. At some point, I had a wah-wah pedal, but instead of using it as the traditional way, it was I used it to mash the guitar, and the more I was pressing the pedal, and the more the guitar was totally destroyed in some kind of insane glitch way.
Cool.
So it was very, very cool. But eventually, I came to the point where I thought, okay, the guitar is a bit a gimmick, because most of the song I do doesn't have guitar in it, so I had to rethink my songs to put guitar for the live.
Yeah.
In fact, I bring the guitar live because I didn't want to be. It's okay, but I didn't want to be some guy with a computer and that's it.
Yeah.
Which can be okay, but
it's boring.
Yeah, it could be boring, and especially because me on stage, I'm not like extremely drunk and and jumping around everything.
Yeah.
So
I know a guy who was like that.
It can be really great, huh?
Yeah.
But so the first gig I did, I bring the guitar, and I had also a double bass.
Yeah.
Electric double bass, and so it was cool, but like I said, I'm not really a good guitarist, so in a way it was okay. It was really really great, but it was too much. I don't know how to say, but in a way, yeah, it has become a gimmick. Okay, let's take this song and add the guitar. Okay, and
it'd be like Square Pusher with his bass,
Yes, except Square Pusher is a insanely good bassist, which is not my, I'm not so. Okay, I can do some really great song with the guitar, with a full blast distortion and everything, but I cannot do that all the time.
Yeah,
especially with the new albums I was making. So and eventually I start to sing.
Okay.
Also, so it's like I replaced the guitar with the singing on stage.
Yeah.
And same thing. The microphone was directly to the computer, and with some kind of delay, glitch, and on the voice, and crazy stuff to do some kind of improvisation.
Yeah.
So that's it.
What were you using to process the effects on your laptop?
Oh, it was simply Ableton Live.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, with really, there's nothing to say specifically about this. It's I guess the usual effects.
Yeah.
But you can do so much thing with Ableton Live and any DAW. So.
Is that what you're using now? Ableton Live, or
for lives? For the gigs? Yeah.
But for producing your own music?
No, for producing. I'm still with Logic Pro.
Okay.
I'm really, I'm really at home with Logic Pro, really.
Huh, that's interesting. So you use Ableton Live for live, but for producing at home. Oh, wow. Usually a lot of people, they'll just stick with Ableton Live, and they'll produce in Ableton Live, and then they'll use it for their live show as well. But
yeah, but really,
why is Logic better than Ableton Live for producing?
I think really it's a matter of personal taste. Well, I mean, of course, but I don't think there is a special reason. I really feel at home with Logic Pro.
Yeah.
Ableton Live, I'm not comfortable with the application for creating stuff. But to do live gigs, you cannot really do that with Logic Pro. Well, yeah, you can, but
it's not as good.
Yes, and my gigs are real live.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I can make a live gig longer or shorter. It's really important to me that my gigs are not exactly like what you can hear on my records.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to just go up and play a song
exactly.
And then that's it. Yeah. Especially with YouTube now, if people start seeing your shows the same because they saw a video on YouTube, then they're not going to go to your show anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I like to maybe it's a bit too much, but surprise people with okay, this song, you know this song, and I do it like totally differently.
Yeah. I think people appreciate that too, you know.
Yeah, and it's somehow it's the point of live gigs, because you don't care about seeing some guy you really like playing his records. I mean, it's DJ set in that way.
Yeah, and people are going to remember things like, you know, if you go see a concert and the guy fucks up the guitar solo, you're going to remember that more for the rest of your life than you are if he plays it like the album, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah. What are your VSTs that you use? Do you use any gear? Do you use anything other than Logic? Like, what is your setup right now?
For live gigs or?
No, for everything, for producing.
For producing, on Logic Pro, I really use mainly the tools from the main application. I don't use anything else now. You know, some times ago I was digging like a new synths and plugins and everything, and collecting, and but I don't do that anymore. Really, Logic Pro is for me it's really perfect. But and there is something new in my setup this last couple of years, is that I have an electronic drum kit.
Oh, cool! Which one?
It's from Roland.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a very very small one.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to add this in my music, and with the same thing that I was talking before, I'm not a good drummer. Okay. But I've been playing for like 3 years now.
Okay.
And I'm not really practicing. It's really for my pleasure, really.
Yeah.
But in terms of production and making music, since it's electronic and it's MIDI, you can always fix and arrange anything.
Yeah.
Which is really great, because now I can have some kind of live drums.
Yeah.
With everything that comes with it, and I don't have to be a very good drummer for that.
That's awesome. And it must be quicker too, you know. For my music, I've been thinking about getting an electric drum, because sometimes it'll take me an hour to sequence drums, and if I just hit record and tried to play what I wanted to do, it'd be 5 minutes, you know.
Well, yes and no, because unless you are a very good drummer, one take, oh, great, you know. But trying to fix all the time where you are a bit off, it can be really time consuming, but it's not the same. It's more like a real work. Yeah. You know, you know that you're not really creating at this point. It's like, okay, I have to do this. You know, like doing the dishes. It's like, okay, you know, let's do this. But this is the point. You have really, you can, well, this is stupid what I'm going to say. It's like, yeah, it's an instrument.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you meet Mike Paradinas when you were doing Planet Muse stuff?
Yes, I met him a couple of times, I think, because we played in the same night in Paris.
Mm.
So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What a legend.
Yeah.
That man is.
And he remixed me.
That's awesome.
Imagine that.
Speaking of Paris, what is the scene like in France? Was it kind to you, or are you active in it, or?
I'm not really active, because I think coming from the electronic glitch area with the Sublight and Planet Mu and mostly Noiseam at the time. Now that I sing, it's some.
You've been barred from that scene now.
yeah. I think I lost a few people who wants to have mainly breakcore and violent stuff.
Yeah.
And since I'm not really into any specific genre, it's and this, and also it's harder and harder to make music, to make parties and gigs especially in Paris. But I don't want to speak for anyone, but for me, it's the promoters are having a hard time to make some gigs with me, because what am I doing? They don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Is it electronic? But it's he sings now, so it. You know, it's Radiohead then. Okay. So, you know, when I was the guitar, I was Square Pusher, which is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's Radiohead. Yeah. So I'm not in any specific niche or genre. So for me, it's like a bit dead.
So it's hard to get booked.
Yeah.
That's a problem that I hear a lot. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's getting worse and worse in that area.
Yeah. I just have one more question. Thanks for the interview. I totally appreciate it. It's been very insightful. I was curious about what you think about social media's role in music is these days. You know, because when you started, I think it was just MySpace and kind of some weird underground chat rooms. But now it's a way of life. Yeah, but I have really troubles to see the real impact of social medias in that aspect. I really don't know. I'm having a great times speaking with a lot of people, mainly in Facebook, but whatever the media. Yeah. But I don't think it changed. I don't think it has so much of an impact for at least for us. For the million selling guys, it's something probably, but for us it's like, okay, to say it differently, I'm not sure it's really different from the MySpace time. Yeah. You know, it doesn't change really anything. You don't get more gigs or more sales or more plays with I don't know really. Yeah. No, that's a good answer because you're right. It's practically the same thing. I think there's more people online now than there was in 2005. But I think you're pretty much right where it's pretty much the exact same thing. Anyway, it's not a game changer. Yeah, I understand. But it's cool. It's nice. Well, it's good. It's good for networking and finding people. Yeah. Well, so thank you for coming on. I totally appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to plug before we go, or? Not. I've been working on new stuff lately, but it's really, I'm really taking my time to usually what I do when I start to do music again is to let the flow in a way to build itself, you know. So I think this one is going to be really long to achieve. But it's going to be nice. And I'm thinking of bringing the guitar back. Oh, awesome. And I presume you're going to be doing some more visuals for it too, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Because your music videos are really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But this is something that this is easy for me because I do my own artworks, my own music video, so I can I can continue to exist artistically. I mean, fairly easily because of that. You know, I don't have to ask artists to make my artwork and pay them, but not so much because you know it's hard. I don't have to deal with any of this. I'm alone, but I can provide everything for me.
Yeah, depending on other people sucks, man. Like when I try to get people to help me with stuff, it's just such a dead end.
The only thing I have to do is mastering.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You just have to find someone good and to pay him, and it's it doesn't change really anything. So that's easy.
Raoul, where can people reach you at if they want to find out more about you?
I have my website. It's raoulsinier.com, and on Facebook mainly. I have a page and profile.
Excellent.
You know the difference?
Yeah, well, there's your personal and then there's your page. Yeah.
I have both, and I'm pretty responsive. Come and talk to me. I'm nice.
Excellent. And your Bandcamp. Don't forget your Bandcamp.
Oh, yeah. Bandcamp. This is the most important. Yeah, Bandcamp.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
And
Raoul.
it's always the same thing. It's always Bandcamp / Raoul Sinier, YouTube / Raoul Sinier, and so on and so on.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the interview,
Thank
Raoul,
you.
And I hope to have you back on sometime in the future.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Bassfug podcast. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, rate us in your iTunes or your podcast aggregator, whatever. Subscribe to our new YouTube channel because we're publishing there now too. We got all the social medias. If you think you should be on the show, if you know somebody who's making cool stuff and should be on here, send us a message on Facebook. You'll find us. Use a search engine, bassfug.com. Thank you for all of the support. Without you, this podcast wouldn't be listened to. Thank you very much and have a good day.